Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another fun tutorial for you, and it's on this blue cut crease look with a white liner in the crease, inspired by Alex Page, who is an amazing Australian makeup artist. I'll make sure to leave her IG handle down in the info section. I had a lot of fun doing this look. It's super vibrant, so if you'd like to learn how I done it, then carry on watching. Now, I already done my eyebrows off camera to save time for the video. I just used brow soap and the Maybelline brow pomade to do hair strokes. Now I just went in with a skin tone concealer to underline my eyebrows, just to make them look more clean and defined. For my eye base, I'm using P.Louise in the shade 1. I usually use 2 or 3, but because today we're using such vibrant blues, I want the colors to come out as true to color as possible, so using quite a light base really helps with that. Now for today's eye look, I'm using the Carnival XL Pro palette, which is a collaboration between BPerfect and Stacey Marie. First color I'll be using from that palette is this beautiful sky, well not sky, it's more of a baby blue. And I'm going to pack this color on above the crease line. So we're just going to create our shape and give it a light blend. So once I was happy with that color placement, I went on to my next color, which is this really vibrant sky blue. This color is called Make Waves. So I'm just going to pack this into the crease and give it a light blend, making sure the sky blue and the baby blue merge together. Now once I was happy with that blend, I went on to my third color, which is Mood. It's a really nice dark navy blue. It's like dark but rich at the same time, so I'm going to work that right into the socket. I'm also going to blend Mood to the outer corner of the eyes. Now after I applied Mood, you just want to build intensity until you're happy and do any touch-ups. So all I was doing is touching up the outer corner, just making sure we have a nice ombre of colors going on. Now I'm starting to map out my cut crease using a concealer brush, just anyone, and silicone oil, which is the Duraline from Inglot. And the reason why I'm using this is because I'll be wiping off the shadow from the eyelid, so using something with a bit of oil is going to make it come off easier. And also mapping out the shape, you have a guideline to where you're exactly wiping, because it's very easy to wipe it off too high or too much. So because you have that guide there, you know exactly what you're going to wipe off with the cotton bud. Once we have a nice clean plate, we're going to start cutting the crease. I'm using P.Louise Blank Canvas, which is a must-have for cutting the crease. If you haven't tried it, you definitely need it. And yeah, it's one of my top favorites for cutting the crease, as well as the Inglot 94 gel. That's like my OG. So as you can see, I'm just following the guide that I created for myself, like the draft. And then we're going to line it up, make sure we get it nice and sharp. Now a good tip for getting a sharp cut crease is of course a steady hand, but also stamping the product on and then lightly pulling down. A lot of people just swipe it. The thing is that we have a loose skin on our eyes, so when you swipe it, you're kind of pulling it and then you end up with like more of a jagged line. So if you want something more precise and more sharp, definitely stamp and pull. So now that we've reached the end of the cut crease, I started blending the cream into the shadow, as you can see, making sure they blend together. Doing this makes it easier for you to blend in more outer corner shadows. So once I'd done that, I went back in with Make Waves, which was the sky blue, and I just patted that onto the outer corner. Pretty much our goal here is to create a ombre blend on the outer corner, exactly like we've done in the crease. Now I'm going to start working in Mood, which is the darker blue. So once you reapply that to the outer corner, you just want to make sure you blend it into the crease color as well. Now because we'll be applying a loose pigment from Inglot, you want to put down a glitter primer. I'm just using the glitter primer from NYX. So once I'd done that, I applied this Inglot pigment, super stunning. I think it's 114. I will have it listed down in the info bar. So if you have trouble working with the Inglot pigments because they're very foily and chunky, but they honestly pack a punch, it's so stunning, is that you want to work in sections, as you can see in the video, and you want to grab a little bit at a time and really work in sections, as opposed to grabbing a big chunk and just like slapping it on. If you do it that way, you'll most likely end up with a lot of fallout. Another tip is I do not recommend dragging a Inglot pigment, because you end up with these really thick bunches on your eyes. If that's happened to you, you know what I'm talking about. It's not pretty, so I do recommend patting and not dragging. Now we've come up to the hardest part of the look. That was definitely doing the white eyeliner. I'm just using a white gel. The reason being is because I had to hold a mirror in one hand, and then I'm trying to be steady on the other hand, while not trying to block the camera so you guys could actually see what I was doing. So it's very tricky. It wasn't as symmetrical as I would have loved it to be, but it definitely wasn't that bad, but it could have been better. So once I'd done the white liner, I wanted to make the look even darker. You could leave it as is, but I wanted to amp it up with some black, so I just applied it to the very outer corner of the eyes. Now this eye look is very tight, like the shadows. I haven't blown them out too far, so I didn't want to blend the black too far out either. So now we're going in with eyelashes. I'm using TR4 from Tatti Lashes. This is one of their best selling styles, and I think it's a style that suits most eye shapes. Now before I apply them, I'm going to do a thin line across my lash line, just using a liquid liner. And then we're going to put on some mascara, all of that before we apply our eyelashes. So what I like to do is apply the lash, and then I start pinching them with my own natural lashes, just making sure they blend better together. Moving on to our base, I'm going to prime my skin using the MAC Strobe Cream in Peachlite. Once again, one of my OG favorite products. It's super hydrating and just really smooths the skin out. For foundation, I'm using EX1 Invisi Foundation, and the color I believe I'm using is 10. It's quite a tan color because I did stick a fake tan on. Now I'm just using a sponge to blend that in. It does shear out the coverage of sponge because it absorbs a bit of the product, but that's okay because I wanted more of a softer medium coverage. If you want a more fuller medium to full coverage, then I suggest using a brush with this foundation. Once that was all blended in, I went in with concealer. I'm using Too Faced Born This Way in the color Shortbread. And I'm just going to apply that under my eyes on both sides, and then down the nose, the T-zone, and anywhere else you want to apply it. Then I'm going to use the same sponge and just blend that all in. Now I'm going in with a bit of cream contour. This is Tantour from Huda Beauty. It's in the color Light, and you pretty much just want to apply this in all the areas that you want to sculpt. So your cheekbones, your forehead, and your nose. Also the jawline, anywhere you want to make look thinner pretty much. Okay, so we're going to go in with some cream blush. Now don't freak out, you guys probably think I look like a clown right now, but we're going to load up on this Makeup Atelier cream blush. It's a really pretty, kind of like a neonish coral color. It looks like a lot, but it shears out with ease, and you guys will see it once I start placing the sponge and blending it out. It just blends out like a dream, so don't freak out. So once that was faded out, I went into bake. I'm using the Laura Mercier translucent powder. Now I have a love-hate relationship with this powder because it looks flawless in person, it looks flawless in video, flawless in photos, but once that flashes on, you get mega flashback. Well, I do. And I don't with much other powders, but I do love the way it looks, so it's kind of like a love-hate. Now I pretty much just baked underneath the eye, around the nostrils, just because I crease there a lot, and also the chin because that area gets super oily. And then I'm just going to wipe away the powder later on, but leaving the under eye. To further sculpt and bronze the skin, I'm using Private Island from Fenty. It's my kind of contour bronzer. I really love this color. It's just a really nice warm brown. As you can see, I've hit pan. I'm also going to apply a bit down my nose. Now I'm going to be highlighting. I'm using the Showstopper palette from Miss Glam. The highlight in there is amazing. So just going to pop that down the nose bridge, tip of the nose, and then the top of the cheekbone. Alright, so going back to the eyes, I'm going to be applying the P.Louise base in this really pretty baby blue color. We're going to apply that along the lash line. It's going to be our eye base, so our lash line colors pop even more. So once I applied that, I went over with Make Waves, which was the sky blue. We're going to pack that on all along the lash line, of the bottom lash line, sorry. And then we're going to apply the dark navy blue, which was called Mood, and that is going to go from the outer part of the lower lash line to halfway in. And you also want to make sure that it connects with your top outer corner colors. Now we're looking very nice and smoky on that lower lash line. We're going to move to the waterline. I'm applying this dark navy liner from Kat Von D. This is only going halfway in. And then I'm going to go in with a nude eye pencil, and this is going to be applied to the inner part from the inner to halfway of the waterline. And then you just want to make sure that they blend together, not just stop and start. Alright, so to finish off the eye look, we're just going to apply mascara. I'm using Iconics mascara. This is a really nice one. It gives you some really nice dramatic lashes. Then to complete the look, we're going to do our lips. I'm using the Burgundy lip liner from Mercier. I think that's how you say it. And we're just going to overdraw our lips. Well, you don't have to, but I like to. Then for lipstick, I'm using Love Mood from Gemma Isabella Cosmetics. So once I applied that all over the lips, I just give it a few seconds to a minute to dry. And then I went back in with lip liner, but instead I used Sweet Tea from Morphe, which is more of a brown and slightly darker. And this is going to accentuate our lip line and make it pop more. So here we have it, the completed look from before to after. It's a super fun look to do. I hope you enjoyed seeing the tutorial, and hopefully you learned something new. But yeah, if you enjoyed the look, then definitely give the videos a thumbs up. Leave all your nice comments down below, and of course share it or subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you again in my next video. Bye guys.